Hey, what's going on, guys? I find it really funny that, if you pay attention at all to my community posts, I've just been having fun because I have an excuse to now take pictures of action figures. So I've been taking pictures of a lot of the X-Men stuff because I've just been in an X-Men craze. But it's funny that, like, this review and the last review are both DC. So, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So, but today we are reviewing the DC Mcfarlane Multiverse Batman Detective Comics number 27. So here's the box, standard box. Side says that. On the back, you've got the picture of the May 1939, number 27 Detective Comics, which features the amazing and unique adventures of the Batman. So, and speaking of the Batman, as you can probably tell, I've already got him in an extremely dynamic pose. But we will get all into that here in a second. Let's get into the accessories. So to start off, he does come with a stand. He also comes with a pair of, I guess, kind of gripping hands, and then a pair of, I guess, relaxed hands, maybe, karate chopping hands or something like that. I don't know. And as far as I can tell, the reason why his gloves are like this color is that that it appeared that way, kind of. I'm trying to think. Is it on here? Okay, not in this image, but like apparently in some other images, it would be kind of this purplish color. And then it also comes with like this little wrench. And the reason why, not a wrench, it's not a wrench. I know this is gonna seem really like, wow, you don't know your tools? No, I just just haven't thought about you know what this tool is named of for a long time. So I'm sure it's very obvious, and for some reason I can't remember it. But the reason why he has it, I think, is because in the comic he saves himself or somebody with it. So, and then he comes with a really cool trading card here. And then on the back it has a read up, which says, real name Bruce Wayne. Batman has dedicated his life to an endless crusade, a war on all criminals in the name of his murdered parents who were taken from him when he was just a child. Since that tragic night, he has trained his body and mind to near physical perfection to be a self-made superhero. He's developed an arsenal of technology that would put most armies to shame, and he's assembled teams of his fellow heroes like the Justice League and the Outsiders. In the name of his murdered parents, Bruce Wayne wages internal war on the criminals of Gotham City. He is vengeance. He is the night. He is Batman. So, I also definitely don't think this is coincidental that they were releasing this and a variation of this, which has like some blue highlights and blue gloves, around the same time when the recent Batman Caped Crusader series came out, which is an excellent series, by the way. Very unique take, and I enjoyed it a lot. So, but now let's actually get to Batman himself. Now, the biggest thing here, well, it's not the newest thing because it actually happened with an action figure already. I just don't have that action figure yet, although I really want her. There we go. Which is Cassandra Cain. But since this is the first Mcfarlane action figure that I have for myself with a wired cape, take a look at that. So yeah, it's a wired cape. So, you know, if I wanted to, I can do like this. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's not exactly resembling word for word probably what he actually looks like in the comics. It probably still has a little bit of modern flair to him, but there he is. And the cape is made out of, I don't know what type of material you would call it, but there's that. Other than that, outfits, you know, pretty plain, but that's kind of how it was. You got plenty of wrinkles though. You got the little bat symbol there, and you got this old style belt. Paint is done really well. The head sculpt is done pretty well. I will say that I think the ears should be kind of like wider and then kind of pointing inward. But it doesn't really matter to me. Now you may be wondering, hey Daniel, you have a Batman already, and you have kind of a tricky kind of deal with getting two versions of a character, unless it's like a multiverse thing. You know, why do you have this other Batman? Well, one, because he's really cool. He is really cool. But two, because I'm gonna use this Batman as my Batman for the Bat family. The other Batman, which I'll have him compared to later, will be with the Justice League. That's kind of the whole reason. I've been thinking about getting another Batman for a while. I just didn't know which one I wanted to get for the longest time, and I was mostly more focused on getting a Batman that was going to just go in my Justice League. But instead I have a Batman that's going to be the main one for my Bat family, and then I have my older one, which is going to be for the Justice League. So yeah, I mean, even that looks fantastic. But yeah, I mean, it can go, you know, let's see if I can get it to where... So yeah, it's pretty awesome having this wired cape. But so let's get into articulation, which I actually have an interesting part here. So the articulation up at the head, instead of the head having like a neck joint, the whole head and neck move, which means he is limited in terms of like looking up. Not so much down. You can look side to side pretty well. And you actually still get some head tilt. So there's that. You got the typical joint where it shifts around. The arms go up that much. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. It's got a typical in and out or up and down, and then a swivel for the wrist. Got a diaphragm joint, and then another joint leading into the hip, and that allows them to crunch that far forward, crunch that far back, move side to side, and both can move independently of another. And then you've got legs that kick out that far, kick out that far, or kick back that far, can kick to the side that far. Has a little bit of upper thigh articulation there. And then you got double jointed knees, no boot cut. Typical, you know, Mcfarlane ankle articulation with a swivel, and then toe articulation. So yeah. The reason why I say this is definitely not a coincidence with the show, you know, obviously in a sarcastic way, is because the show takes a lot of inspiration from the 20s, and they kind of, you know, get a costume that's very much inspired by the original costume. And so I think that's why they decided to release this guy now. Sorry about that. feels a little crowded. Well, you can see why. I still have my X-Men up here. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get him. There we go. Okay, well, you're leaning forward. Okay, that's probably as good as standing as I'm going to get him. So the first thing I'm going to compare him to is... I'm not going to compare him to all the Bat family members, but we'll compare him to the other Batman I have, which is a much, much more modern Batman. And he's actually shorter than this new one. So there's that. I think they're upping the scales lately. So yeah, it seems to be that they're upping the scales of the action figure. Sorry if I'm a little over the place. I'm kind of tired. I am recording this very late. I don't know why, but I am. So, I guess I can review or compare him to a villain. He doesn't have his staff on. Oh, actually, he does. Usually, I would also compare him to Nightwing. You know what? I can. Let's see here. Compare him to a villain, though. There's Riddler. But there's a couple other characters, starting with Superman here. He's actually a little bit more in height, but Batman's still taller. I think they're upping the scale of some of these action figures. And I'm aware that, like, some, you know, obviously they're probably not standing perfectly straight up and down, but, like, don't necessarily know why they're doing that. There is, okay, you know what? Yeah, because I haven't shown him off in a while, I'll compare him to Signal. That actually probably works in scale because Signal is, you know, younger. So but there is another character. We can also compare him to the next Batman. There you go. But let me find. There's a particular character that I'm looking for here. Okay. And there is Selena Kyle, Catwoman. And specifically, this is one of the Arkham games versions of Selena. So, and then I guess this time we should compare to Robin, whose sword is very unfortunately bent. Because it's been sitting in a tub. But we'll compare him to Robin here. Which honestly, in scale, this actually looks a lot better. Because they kind of oversized him a little bit. So let me grab one more character here. My favorite DC superhero, but my favorite DC superhero's mentor is in the review today, so there you go. They look really awesome together. You know, maybe I'll get a couple other Bat family members. So we did that. I will do Thomas Wayne Batman as well. So there you go. And I will do I'm gonna do okay, so we will do Red Hood. I should say the Mcfarlane Red Hood. And oh, I guess another Justice Leaguer. We'll compare him to Wonder Woman here. So yeah, and that's really all I have for this Batman here. Keep an eye out on the community tab. I'm definitely going to be taking pictures with this guy. So yeah, let me know what you think of the review. You know, and yeah, so oh wait, I got to show off. Funny enough, the comic I got today is also Marvel instead of DC. So, but I've got the Hulk vs. Thor Banner of War comic. So, yeah. So, yeah. But hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you did, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.